Hello, welcome Solex Nation. It is August, and August is actually a pretty big month, starting with Punta Cana.
I feel like every month's a big month. I feel like we have tons going on every month. But
I
yes,
love that we have tons going on every month.
This month has been a build-up for the last 12 months.
Yes.
Right? One of the things, if you have been working towards Punta Cana, you know that August 2023 is a big month because you had to have a net increase of 15 or 20, depending on which trip you're going, trip for one or trip for two, but you had to have that qualification inshore in August, right?
That's
You
right.
had to have the net increase in August no matter what. So this month is key.
Get your net increase this month, no matter what. And several people qualified last month for the first time.
Yes.
So don't forget that means you qualified last month for the first time, do it again this month, and do it again in September, and you've earned your trip.
And you're going on the trip. Well, and we've had some people qualify already. They've already hit their 3 months. Does that mean they still need to get it in
They
August?
sure do.
Yes, because August is critical. It is an absolute, right, for this incentive trip. We have all kinds of plans. We're already in motion, getting ready for you that will be coming to Punta Cana. We're excited for that event. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be great. We just had a meeting yesterday with someone at the resort, and we're pumped. We can't wait for this trip. So get your numbers in this month. Did we say it enough times?
I think so.
Okay, let's move on to Day of Discovery. Now, it's a big month again for Day of Discovery. Day of Discovery is not until next month. It's September 15th and 16th in Provo, Utah. Why is this month a big month for Day of Discovery?
Well, this is the last month to get your tickets, right? Tickets close on the 31st, and so that will kind of close the door on the event, and then we're going to get ready for everybody who's ready to come. If you're unable to make it this year, well, hopefully we'll see you next year. But if you can make it and can make these plans in the last 6 weeks or so, please do. We'd love to see you.
That's right. All right. The next reason why August is a big month, we are changing our incentive. We just finished up with our Bright incentive, and now we have a new incentive for this month.
And speaking of Bright, for those that did the enrolling, remember everyone won last month, right? All the new enrollees who met the qualifications earned it with their enrollment order. It was shipped out to them. But then everybody who helped doing enrolling, all those are being put together and shipping out to you now.
That's right. Okay? We didn't want to do them one at a time because several of you would have
enrolled
had
a lot.
12 shipments last month or more.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And so what is the new incentive for August?
Okay, so for August, we're going to do, this is an Alpha 3. This is a sharing opportunity, right? A big boost. We don't do this one very often,
we don't.
But when we do it, people love it because it empowers the ability to share the AO scan technology with those who might be intrigued, who might be interested, but obviously need to have that personal experience, right? So the Alpha 3 Pass is perfect for that. So what are we doing this month? When you enroll a new preferred customer or a new QLA, new distributor here at Solex, when that person enrolls with a qualifying order, which includes either the device or the new bundles, if you haven't seen those, check those out. People are loving those.
That paired with the subscription.
With the subscription, when you've enrolled that way, you, the QLA doing the enrolling, is going to get a 6-pack of Alpha 3 passes to share with others.
For each enrolled person.
For each enrolled person, correct.
But there's a little more to this.
If the person you enrolled is a new QLA, to help them get things running and their sharing going, we're going to give them the 6-pack as well.
That's right. Now, we want to remind you, too, that this is a new quarter. This is quarter 3. I guess we're almost halfway into quarter 3. And we also have an incentive for the entire quarter. Now, when you bring on 3 QLAs or PCs, what would they get?
You're going to get a $50 bonus.
That's right.
Right.
And let's make it a little sweeter. What happens when you double that and bring 6 people on in this quarter?
You're going to get a $250 bonus added on top of everything else that you're going to earn.
That's right.
So what does that mean with both? Can you earn both?
Absolutely.
Yes, it's not one or the other. You can earn a total of an extra $300 in this quarter on top of what I think is a very generous incentive to get sharing the product with everybody else.
That's right. So great incentives this month. And, speaking of the bring 3 on, bring 6 on, we had that same incentive, different award, but the same kind of idea for quarter 2.
Yeah, so if you've been sitting around wondering, okay, in quarter 2, hey, I enrolled 3 or I enrolled 6 or more. Hello, Kai, where's the prize? The prize is coming. Remember, one of the things with this that we've said, and this applies to this quarter as well, is the auto ship that's tied to that enrollment has to successfully transact. And so we waited until the end of July to let all of the auto ships transact. And so then we knew who our list of 3 and 6 were. And now we know who they are.
And so those incentives, those prizes are coming to you now.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, let's see who won.
Yeah, let's look at the list of those who enrolled, 3 or more or 6 or more. All right, so everybody on that list that earned 3 is going to get or enrolled 3 is going to get a $100 coupon.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Redeemable through customer service. That email is going out now. So once you get it, call in and take advantage of that $100 coupon. Great job, by the way.
Yes.
And then the people who enrolled 6, this is a different deal.
We've never done this.
If you enrolled in 6 or more, you're going to be part of a test group for a real product that we are working on rolling out in next month. So if you are on that list of 6 or more, we're actually sending that product within the next few days. We'll be sending that out to you. It comes with a few things that we want to make sure you're aware of. There's a video explaining some things because we're not going to give you all the details of what we're going to be announcing next month when we launch this product. What we're trying to do is give you a taste of what's going on and get you some experience with it and actually get your feedback with it as well. So as we make our last minute refinements to this big announcement, one of many that are coming, you're going to be first to know.
That's right. You know, this is actually a really big deal. We're pretty secretive about what we launch here. We tie things down. So the fact that we're sending this out well, you earned it. So we hope you enjoy it. We hope you love it. And it's really exciting I'm excited to get your feedback on this.
Yeah. We recently announced a loyalty program, which we love. What the loyalty program is that every 3 months in a row where you successfully have your auto ship transact, you're going to get a 30% off coupon. You can use that on just about everything. There's a couple things off limits like Solex University and the AO Scan subscription, but there's plenty that is on the table that people are loving already. Now, the first period in which we gave out the coupon was actually just this month, right? We looked at April, May, and June. We looked at everybody who had a successfully transacted auto ship, right?
Excluding the enrollment order.
Excluding the enrollment, and we explained that last week. You were given an email with a coupon code in it. Now, if you have had trouble finding that coupon code or finding that email, what we're finding is all of them have been issued. We find that some people are finding it in their junk or their spam. And so we encourage you to go check that out. Check the spam folder or the junk folder on your email to see if that email from us ended up there for whatever reason. If you still struggle finding that and you know you had a successfully transacted automatic shipment or transaction from Solex during those 3 months, please give us a call. We'll get you taken care of.
Perfect. All right, we had a contest last week, and we said one of your favorite questions.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Well, what is the one thing you could do right now that would have the greatest impact?
On your business.
On your business.
That's right.
I love that question.
It is such a good question. And we're going to give away Alpha 3 passes, 6-pack of Alpha 3 passes to 3 people right now, which is a great thing to do when you're trying to forward your business. Right? Give away an Alpha 3 pass. Okay, so the first one is Lynn Cummings. The one thing I could do today to make the biggest impact is to get talking and demonstrating to groups of people at different events, sharing the power of this technology for improving the physical and emotional health of ourselves and family. I'm going to scan people at every opportunity. That is gold. You're 100% right.
Well, and you hit it. You nailed it on the head when saying, like this face-to-face interaction. That is powerful.
I mean, social media and doing things that way is also powerful, but there's nothing like face-to-face, especially with the technology that we have.
Well, and we use all of it, right?
We do.
We need to use all of the avenues, and we need to know why. Right? Why we're using that. If we understand all those things, they can have the greatest impact on what we're doing. All right, this one is Cyndy Jones, I think. Cyndy Jones 453. The one thing I can do is start making videos on TikTok since I'm a homeschool mom and don't get out much. I can do this. Yes, you can,
That's
Cyndy.
awesome.
And I love that. That's the other part of it,
That is the
right?
other side, yes.
It's that mixture of reaching people where they are, but then also getting to this one-on-one conversation or sharing or experience with others.
That's right.
Great job.
All right, last one is Jocelyn Colum. For the greatest impact, just be our caring selves. The AO scan technology keeps growing, so there will always be something to learn. So no need to have all the answers. Thank you, Solex team, for all that you bring every week during the training calls. Jocelyn, I love that, especially you don't need to have all the answers. I think that's a stumbling block that many face. They don't want to share AO scan technology because they're worried that they're gonna be asked a question that they can't answer. And it's okay to say, I don't know, and I need to find out.
Well, and I'd like to add just a challenge to Jocelyn specifically. That is, the greatest thing you could do is be yourself. Be as real as you are, but understand what that is. Can you ask yourself, what does that look like? When you are being your authentic self, what does that, describe it? Can you describe it? And if you can, then you know when you are being your authentic self. I love that. It's a greatest thing I can do, right?
Well, I liked all three of those answers, and we will get those Alpha 3 passes loaded to your accounts.
All right, Top Enrollers.
Top Enrollers, this is July 24th through the 30th, and we had a tie for second.
Tie for second. We have a great group here. Some of them are regulars.
Yes.
Right? But we're happy and excited to announce their names. Paige Wheeler, good job. Great job for making the list.
Again, it's been a few weeks in a row here for Paige.
Yep.
That's so great. Temna Sturdivant.
And then Jesse Morrison.
And Joseph Cusimano. That's another name
Yeah.
that we've heard recently. So well done to all of you. Congratulations. And we do have one person as our top enroller.
Yep.
And this person brought on
8
people this week.
8 people. I think she's working toward Punta Cana.
I think she might be.
Yeah.
And
in fact, there's something else with this person that I think we should mention.
Maybe we should mention a little tidbit about. Well, let's say the name. It is Beck McQuilty.
And it's not just Beck McQuilty enrolling 8 people, but for everyone who's working in this business and building an organization, Beck is the second person to ever hit the rank of Pearl. And she did it just a few days ago. Congratulations, Beck. Great job. It is no small effort. I know that she's been working at it for months and months. And with that, in order for her to hit Pearl, somebody had to hit Platinum.
Yes, Katie Jane Hill hit Platinum. And underneath Katie Jane, we had Allie Robertson who hit Gold.
Wow.
So that's amazing. Well done. And you know what? 2 more months of them hitting these ranks and they will all break those ranks.
They break those ranks and then they're in a new level of performance here.
So congratulations, everyone.
You know, Kai, this is, it's been an interesting few months with all the changes that are going on geopolitically and at home right here with business.
Yeah.
You know, with things that are happening. People are asking lots of good questions. And I think this is a time that we could take to maybe address some of those issues with people from devices, data, and where the technology is headed.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a great thing. And in conjunction with that, I mean, every company strides as they mature, right? We go through different levels of growth and experience.
Yeah.
And part of that maturing process of any entity, any company, is you learn more and more what you do best and what you don't do best.
All right. And then you need to make that pivot.
Yeah.
You do. You know, when we first started with the AO scan and introduced this wonderful technology, we needed its own independent device. It had to be on its own because of how much of the resources that we utilized. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we introduced our own AO scan device. But as technology has changed, and technology is changing at a breakneck speed right now, it's just so fast, we realized that, you know, we could make this technology work on almost any device.
Yeah. And I think we learned a great deal in the last few months. I mean, when you start a business, you know, you're doing everything.
That's right.
You're doing from legal to operations to customer service. I mean, you are fixing every problem for that potential person who would like to use what you're offering, right? And one of those things in the beginning, right, was the device.
Right.
The device in the beginning, we know that we needed some lockdown fixtures because the software in its transition from a big, massive $38,000 machine to something in your hand.
Yeah, that was working off the cloud. Totally different infrastructure.
Yeah.
So, and it has changed and it is growing. And you've watched us, grow this technology to where it's at. And it's exciting to see. And you've let us know how much you enjoy this technology. But we're getting to a point where there's a lot of factors we don't have control over.
Right.
One of those is supply chain issues.
Yeah.
And we're not the only people that have that issue. I mean, Apple, Samsung, all of them are having the same
LG.
types of issues. In fact, I was just over in China just recently looking to see what we could do with devices, and the picture is pretty well clear. We do the technology well.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do the devices. We're never going to be able to build a device like an Apple or a Samsung that at a price point that would be acceptable.
Yeah, I need to correct you on one thing because I'm arrogant enough to say this. We do the technology phenomenally well, right? We are great at our software service, the scanner. We love it. It is our bread and butter. Is what we do. It's been our flagship from day one, and it will continue to be so. And we've said that over and over again. One of the maturing things that you have to make decisions around, and everybody does on all aspects of life, is what is it that we do really well. Mm-hmm. And what is it that we don't do as well as somebody else that they do really well, right? And when you talk about us trying to compete with devices, we talk about our mobile, our dedicated device, even our tablets, and you look at, well, what does Apple do? And what does Samsung do? And what does LG do? And they are really good at what they do.
And they should be.
And they should be.
Yeah.
In the last months, with all of the software deconstruction and reassessment and rebuilding, we teased out and exposed so many things that we even can do better in the software. And one of those things is we know that our software can deploy basically anywhere. We knew that we wanted to go there eventually. We just didn't know it was going to happen.
We didn't know if we could do it this fast.
That's right? And so in the last months, we've adjusted things in the software in such a way where any device will work. Every device will work.
So not just on mobile. You can use it on your Apple computer, your PC at home, your laptop, your tablet.
iPad. Yep.
And to have that flexibility, I think, is more important than having a dedicated device. However, saying that, though, Kai, you will find that if you're using this on like your phone and that phone you're using all the time, it's going to be really hard to do consistent scans on that device. You're going to get interrupted with messages and calls. And so a dedicated device whenever you can is the best.
But whether that's a dedicated laptop or iPad or whatever it might be, dedicated is good. Mm-hmm. And that achieves the objective, right?
Right.
Because what that does is if we're really good at the software and we get to maybe just turn away and allow others to be really good at devices. The resource here at Solex then allows us to propel the software forward, and we have some things to propel forward.
And if we want to take this software to the next level, it's going to be better for you to use a different device than the ones that we can get to you at an affordable price. And so as we are getting to the point where we're almost out of devices and getting harder to get devices in, we will move away from devices and focus 100% on the software and making that software. Look what we've brought this year alone. We brought in the Pulse for Intervoice. We brought in the advanced databases, more homeopathics, and more stuff that's coming. But if we want to continue that trend, it's going to require devices with a lot more meat.
Yes, and dedication on our part to the software development. Now, and we're maturing and we're growing. So the clarity of this update is we are discontinuing selling devices, mobiles and tablets. Now, we do have some on hand, and they're limited supply. Whatever's left will move out the door for those that want one of our dedicated devices. And if you do love that, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But what you will get is this continued effort to build, refine the scanning experience on everything. Now, we still think it's important to have the wired headset or the Bluetooth transducer as part of your focused experience. But with that, the mobiles and the tablets, we're going to leave that to the big boys to bring in their expertise, what they do really well.
And let us continue to do what we do well.
Yes, and that software, let's talk about the software for a minute. In our software process, we have also matured through stages of development in order to have a better scanning experience.
Correct.
In the very beginning, absolutely not a single bit of data was kept.
No.
Right?
No.
But we have worked through processes where we've worked with encryption and protections. But let's actually, before we even go there, let's talk about what data we're looking at.
So this brings up the other question that's been coming up a lot. Are we storing your data?
Yeah.
And the question comes back to, we told you in the very beginning we don't store your data. Mm-hmm. And that is true. We don't store your data, but we store all of the raw data from the scans. The only data that we store from your individual scans is the last two you've done. Yeah. And then the next one you do overwrites this next one. Now that'll bring up a question, say, well, wait a second, I can go back 6 months and pull up an email.
You can get that link.
You're going to get that link, and you're going to be able to pull up a scan that was 6 months ago that was definitely more than 3. Well, the data is still there, but you are the only one that has access to draw that data from the cloud back into your device.
If you were to call customer service and say, hey, I want the scan from 3 months ago, if you wanted it from the last 3 scans ago, not going to be able to get it for you. No. Right? It's not there. The data, like you said, in raw macro form, we look at that in order to refine and improve scanning experience, our algorithms and so forth. We have to have that.
Well,
we knew we had to have that.
That's how we've been able to take vitals from, just 60 items in vitals and 30 items in comprehensive back 3 years ago to what it is today. And if we want to be able to continue to take that further, we need to be able to analyze, okay, every time an invoice is done, we don't care who did the invoice or who it was done on. That isn't important to us. We just need to know how it was done and what came up. We want to know what come up in your vital scans and in the comprehensive scans. But we don't know who that individual is, nor do we have any way to bring it back in. You have the ability through a link that is tied to your profile to draw in from that cloud, but we don't have that ability, and we don't store that. And if you think about it, the only thing that is in your profile is your name, your birthday, weight and height. We don't even require your picture anymore.
Yeah.
And so even if that data was being stored, it would be of no value to anybody. But if you want to be able to look at your reports over time, we've always told you, you must download them, email them to yourself and look at them, because we cannot recreate those files past those 2.
Yeah, I think that's so important, because not only is the type of data in there, but we're looking at refining the scanning experience. Mm-hmm. And so the personal nature of this actually is personal to you. So let me talk about one more thing, and that's the access point. That you store your profile, you create your profile behind your wall of a username and password.
That's right.
We cannot, that's all encrypted data on our end. We can't, if you've called customer service before and said, hey, look at this scan, they can't go into your profile and look at your scan without actually you providing. They can get your email or your username, but they can't get your password. They can create a new password and override it, but they can't get in with your password. They need it from you in order to be able to do that, or they have to override it. So there's an even additional layer of access that we can't from any point reach in and just grab personal information. We can't. We can look at macro, and I've said that multiple times. We look at macro trends. We look at macro information in order to better understand how the scanner can perform better. And I hope that you've had a better scanning experience if you've been here for months or even years over that time period, learned more, seen more, and obviously watched us develop more. And there's more to come.
Yeah. Well,
in September, there's more to come.
There's a lot coming in September. But let's go back. For those of you who have completed phase 3, you have the full access to the database. Those databases are made possible by the raw data that we collect from the collective scans. Yeah. It helps us determine, how to connect those dots. Not associated to an individual or an individual scan, but in a broader picture, a global picture of when this happens, we can generally tie it to this. And without that information, the scanner would never really be able to grow.
Yeah.
And so we need that to collect that type of data, but it's never tied to an individual.
Yeah, I love that. So those that were at two data discoveries ago.
Yeah.
I extended the invitation to scan as many people as possible, diversity, because there was some information from our engineers that the more diverse our scans data came in, the stronger we became.
That's right.
Right? Algorithmically, we became stronger and more intelligent on that diversity. And you guys did a great job to the tune of millions and millions and millions of scans now with hundreds of thousands of people, right?
Yes,
we got so many different scans and even pets. That is what we're going for when we're talking about data as far as our interests go.
And the only thing that we use that information for is on how we can make the databases better and more refined so that your scanning experience and the results from your scans seem to be more in tune with what you're experiencing in life. So that's what we're doing with it.
I love that. I love that. Well, everyone, we've introduced a change regarding devices. That's whatever's left is left. We hope that you understand our message in that we're here to focus on what we do best and let others focus on what they do best. And we've already made major strides to make that better. We've told you a little bit update on how data is kept or how it's used and what is yours and what is ours and how that is best utilized in that time frame. They say the doors of history turn or swing on small hinges.
That's right.
These are small hinges for us, but they make dramatic changes for our ability to help you with your scanning experience.
As always, we appreciate you. We appreciate your feedback. Keep those questions and those concerns coming because it helps us check us as well.
Exactly.
And we want to be able to provide you the best, most transparent experience with the company and with your scanners as possible.
Okay, and now we get to hear from this guy and our resident expert, Jennifer Nelson-Hawks. And stay tuned because after your conversation with her,
we have an announcement.
We have another announcement. Yeah. We're full of announcements today.
And there's so many different types of personalities that have this in at their fingertips. I always, in fact, I kind of live by the fact that, you have a watch, right? If you have a watch, you either just know what time it is, or you really want to know how the watch is made.
Right.
And you can sit down and you can dissect every piece of this and you can really understand how the watch is made, but it's really not necessary. Because if you can let the device do what it is truly designed to do, you will get just as much benefit out of it without sometimes that ego or mental play that comes along with all the others.
Right. And the thing is, with the beauty of that, you've got some people that are very analytical and they've got to understand it. They've got to see this. They've got to look at the reports. They've got to do all these things. But then you have the people that just say, I just want my inner voice. I want my balancing frequencies. I want to get on with my day. The truth is, most of the time, I get up in the morning, I do my inner voice, and I might do a vitals, and I might do a comprehensive, but I never even look at the report. I listen to my tones, and I'm on the road. I'm in and out. I'm done, and on my way within 20 minutes.
It's funny. I get up and do the easy scan. I do a little different because it's truly easy. I do one, and it gives me all three.
Right.
And I'm only focusing on the things that are out of balance, which allows me to not
is great.
Over concentrated by the information of the entire scan. I am able to put pieces together much faster for myself when I have, 10 or 15 things to look at versus hundreds of things to look at.
That's so valid. And the thing is when you're looking at your reports, the reports in and of themselves are very comprehensive and detailed and by nature become very overwhelming. What are you going to do with all that information? Really, all you need to know is, okay, like you said, what time is it? That's all I needed to know. And where do I have to go? The scanner can be the same way. Where the value of those reports come in is when you're trying to track a history. And you when you email those reports, you need to because they don't stay. Once you do a new one, that old one is gone. You track those and then you say, okay, I wasn't feeling well back in January. And if I go back and look at my reports, I start to see these things that were out. And if I scanned weekly or every other week, I can look at those reports and I can see that trend. That's where the reports are really beneficial. But on the day-to-day thing,
well, it's just like blood tests, right?
Yes.
You go get a blood test done and it'll show one thing. Mm-hmm. If you do it the next day, it's going to show something different.
Yeah. In fact, if you do a blood test at 10 o'clock and you go back to the same place, same nurse, and do another blood test a couple hours later, totally different. Totally different.
You bet.
reports.
Because our body is constantly in a change
That's
of,
right.
Flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so with that being said, I think that some people get just overwhelmed with the information, but then they really want to know how to connect those dots.
That's right.
Right? That's the key.
And that is the key.
That is the key.
Well, a few weeks back, Shelby and I were preparing for another Wednesday call. And we were going through the scanner, and she asked me about a part of the scanner. Says, I don't remember that in the scanner. And I'm one of the people that's responsible for putting it together, and I'd completely forgot that it was there. And I think that's something I would really like to point out to everybody now. If once a week or once every 2 weeks you sat down and just really played with your scanner, not necessarily the reports and all the other, but what are my features? What is it? What's in the cupboard that I have a choice to select from? And we were going through that. What comes up when you do your easy scan, your quick scan? You just pointed out. You can know in less than 5 or 6 minutes everything you need to know for that moment and get on with your day and not have to waste any more time. But what about going into your Cepheid and making a little playlist for you for that day based on what was out of range? What's it going to take? 5 minutes to make another little playlist or program a Cepheid dot? These little things, if we just learned how to utilize these things. I'll give you an example. We all have a car. We get into that car, and I'll bet you most of us that are driving a car that's been built in the last 10 years don't utilize 50% of the features in that car.
I'm going to go with 80.
80%, you're probably right. So if we just took the time to look at the technology and the gift that we have in our hand, is to say, man, I didn't realize that I can do this. And that was what I realized when we were putting that call together, was I'd completely forgot about that little gem in there. And so if we just took a little bit of time, I'm going to find something new in the scanner today, and you'll be surprised. You'll find something new every time. Yeah,
it's interesting. If you know somebody that also has a scanner, ask them what their favorite part of the scanner is.
Absolutely.
And maybe they have a trick. Maybe they have a secret. Maybe they have a little secret sauce for whatever it is. I personally love the Cepheid, but I make a Cepheid of detoxification playlist.
Makes sense.
Because that's what works for me. Other people may need more of the encouragement or the affirmations. Some people like the chakras or the meridians.
And see, those two are very underused. A lot of people look at chakras and meridians and think, okay, that's kind of on the woo-woo side. And really, it's not at all. It's just we've been trained and taught, okay, these are the new age thing, and it's kind of chakras and meridians go back almost 5,000 years.
Well, think about acupuncture.
Yeah. I try to equate the chakras and the meridians to a circuit breaker panel as your chakras, and your meridians is the wiring through the house. And it's when one of those circuit breakers is popped, no energy is flowing through those wires.
That's correct.
And sometimes you just need to go back to the circuit panel because things aren't working the way they are, and you just turn them off, turn them back on, that little reset, and now everything's flowing the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I know when I look at my report, when I take the time to look at my report, the first thing I look at are the chakras and meridians. I mean, yes, they come up on the report first. So of course, it's easy to look at those. But I do pay most attention to those, because if I don't have energy flowing through my body, how are my organs supposed to be functioning on a high level of being optimal?
And that's true. And with that, one thing that I like to encourage people to do when you scan, if you could scan at the same time every day, because your organs are going through that 12-hour cycle. And so if you're scanning at 10 o'clock on Monday, but you scan at 3 or 4 o'clock on Tuesday, things aren't quite the same in your body as they were the other day. So if you're scanning at the same time every day, you're going to see more realistic and more actual results.
Yeah, and I think, but for those that can't scan every day at the same time every day, just still scan.
Yeah, of course.
Just maybe not analyze the information quite as much as you would have if you were doing it at the same time all the time. One of the other ones I really love are the quantum flowers. Mm-hmm. Quantum flowers are powerful because they are another tool besides your inner voice to tap into the emotion that gets lodged in our tissues.
Yep.
And I know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that they're based off of Bach flowers.
That's true. The frequencies, yeah.
The frequencies. And so, I think that being able to tap into those are incredible. I also think being able to make playlists. There's a lot. I mean, if you get on the Facebook or site or whatever, people are sharing their information.
Absolutely.
Go look at it.
It's wonderful information.
It's phenomenal. And it takes you don't have to do the legwork. But you can, look at these different playlists and see if it fits you. And if it does, put it in there. Like I remember looking at one for, I think it was something for respiratory a while back. And I thought, okay, well, this is a good one to have. I don't know when I'll use it. You know what? It comes up.
Yeah.
And then it's there. And all you have to do is go look, oh, I think I did something like that. Pick on respiratory and let it run.
Yep. I like, you brought up the quantum flowers. I've known about the Bach flowers and the Australian flowers and the California flowers for years. And I kind of, I knew that they were real, but okay, it was another one of those things like homeopathy. Don't really know how to use it. And so the work that our engineers did with that was to tap into the body's energy field. And so when you go to the quantum flowers, at the very top, there's a little scan. And you just hit that scan button and it will look at your energy field and then come up and say, okay, this is the emotion that's at play right now.
I think that's so powerful.
And then below that, it will list the flowers that are associated with that. And so it takes a lot of the initial guesswork out of it. And then you can say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That resonates with me. Or no, not quite. And you can hit the scan again and see what the next frequency that's out of whack. I love that part because it makes it simple and not intimidating.
Absolutely. And then, I love being able to imprint into certain objects. Maybe it's just a glass of water that day, right? It doesn't have to be the bracelet.
Nope.
It can be so simple to utilize, and it doesn't have to be, you can have that energy frequency with you all day long. You don't just have to play it for 20 seconds to be done. You can.
Yeah.
But you can also have it in your presence for a long period of time.
Yeah, and the other thing is you've got a ring that you wear, or you have a pendant you wear, your credit card in your wallet. Any of those things can be imprinted, and they're with you the whole time. So I think that's awesome. Do you use any of the other features in Cephi?
Oh, in Cephi, for me, I talked a little bit about detoxification for myself earlier. So the energy homeoenergetics, I do play around with that a bit. But I do also believe that is one that you have to be careful with because it's all about the detoxification.
That's right.
So you got to make sure that your body is prepped for that, because if you just go in and detox too quickly, you might feel some
little
Herxheimer's, yes. But I really do love it because the reality is we are subjected to toxins every single day. So if you just played, if you had a playlist where you kind of went down through, maybe you do your liver scan and your kidney scan and make sure all your drainage pathways energetically are open, and then go, for one day, play just the bacteria maybe.
Right.
Maybe the next day you play a little bit of the parasite. Maybe the next day you play a little bit of the viral load, just to kind of allow your body to work through those.
Well, Loran, you and Jennifer are just wealth of information. You guys go through so much.
She's so amazing. The depth of her knowledge is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So great to visit with her.
And so many channels, right? Mm-hmm. So many channels of information. She obviously has been doing this for decades and really knows her stuff. And speaking of her knowing her stuff, we promised an announcement after you guys talked. Here's the announcement. It is that Jennifer, she has one course out. She is starting a brand new course starting tonight. I think we need to look at the trailer for that.
Good.
Are we ready? And we're going to lift up the curtains on stress, understand the effects, and learn strategies to manage it. A little is normal, but a lot is not. So what can you do about this? What people get wrong about self-care is that they think that self-care is selfish. It's about happiness in your life, your friends, and understanding why stressful situations can create such an impact. And right now is how you need to stop that. Now let's talk about some ways to reduce it, like 21 ways. Your cortisol level doesn't know when to shut off, which can lead to problems like high blood sugar levels and fatigue. And a lot of people end up getting that midriff roll that comes on their lower abdomen. Really going to be focusing on that autonomic nervous system. We have what's called your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest and active and alert or fight or flight. But I want you to understand the structure of this nervous system. So these activities can stimulate your vagal nerve and increase the activity, helping to promote a sense of well-being and relaxation. It actually is the most powerful form of decreasing that vagal nerve and supporting the nervous system for the day. You will feel the shift. People always say, do you ever have a bad day? And I say, yes. And they're like, but you're always smiling. Because why not? Why not? Negative thoughts are often much easier than positive thoughts. And we get into this cycle. It's time to declutter your mind. You need to start thinking more positively for yourself. Dream up something that you would never think possible. The day she let go of the things that were weighing her down was the day she began to shine her brightest.
I love the topic of stress, and that looks like an amazing course.
She is brilliant, and she just addresses it on so many levels. It just makes it simple.
And yeah, simple. Just matter of fact, it's cultivating calmness, right?
Yep.
This natural way of dealing and managing our stress is so powerful, and that's what we need. There are real things that are happening in our emotions, in our environment, and inside our bodies that need to be dealt with.
That's right.
So that we don't, like she said in the beginning, some is okay. Too much is a problem, right? Too much is a problem. You know what? You and Jennifer talked. We only listened to just a few minutes of you both speaking. And I think on the heels of this, there's so much more in what you guys recorded and talked about. You talked for a long time. I hope that we get to hear more about your conversation together because you touched on so many points. In connection with that, I think that would be an exciting thing to listen to again, especially as we roll out this course on calmness. By the way, the course is $49.
$49, and it includes the workbook.
And it has a workbook.
No, it's amazing.
That is powerful stuff. You know, if you want to learn how to better manage stress naturally, that's a place to go. That's available tonight. We encourage you to go check it out just to see what it's like. Look at the trailer again and see if that reminds you of how much we need to work on balancing our stress day to day.
That's right.
Okay, it's time to give away something. At least we ask everyone to get involved with us because we want to give away something that actually relates not only to what you guys were talking about, but also actually I think it relates directly to Jen's new course on stress and how stress actually impacts reactive oxygen species. And we can go down a whole rabbit hole there. And I'm not going to. I promise.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing for you and probably for me. But so what it is there's so many gems inside of what you guys talked about. And obviously that full podcast will be available. But one of the things you and Jen talk about is the parts of the scanner that might be underutilized or maybe aren't worked through very often for most people. So I think let's comment on the call today. Comment on the call. What is a part of the scan that you've never touched? Or what's a part of the scan that you rarely touch? Or that you would like to get involved in that you maybe you're afraid of.
Yeah, don't be afraid of it. That's the key. Yeah. You can't make a mistake. And sometimes it's good just to go back and say, I haven't done that in a while. I'm going to do it again.
Yep.
So
I did that last
play
night
with
with
that.
the scan.
Did you?
I looked at it.
Oh.
I'm like, I haven't done that one in a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that one today. So let's give away. We're going to give away the top pack. We're talking about stress. We're talking about oxidation in the body. Top pack is powerful for kicking the antioxidant system into gear and giving you all the resources at the cellular level in order to make a magnificent improvement to your health and well-being, especially when it comes to stress.
That's right. So make that comment on the video at the YouTube.
Yes, on the YouTube comment. Perfect. And we'll draw, of course, 3 names next week for a top pack. See ya.
Okay, we had a contest last week.
We did.
Before that, though,
Yes.
to everyone who has thus earned it.
Yeah.
I hate the
Which
word thus.
means, yeah, how
I was
nerdy.
doing so well until you came into this picture.
I've been in the picture the whole time.
So if you can't find it, please check your spam.
You're doing a terrible job. This is not a good one.
Okay, I need you to do this announcement. I need you to do this
was a
announcement.
good
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Or the first issuance of. Is that it? You just cut it?
People having questions. I don't want to start that.
Okay.
Wrong. Sorry.
That's good, because that'll make the blooper.
We won't have time for bloopers on this call, so I'm not worried.
We always have time for bloopers, Jake. We always do.
Okay. That's not in the blooper reel.
All right.
Go ahead. I think that brings us to our next
Yeah.
event, or not event, our next screw that.
I was going to say, we don't know what we're giving away.
Our next